Hey YouTube, Dan Otto here, the best 3rd/4th tier Pokemon Go battler in the world, and today we are talking about GoFest, in particular, what Pokemon you need to prioritize for catching and raiding to maximize for your PvP potential. So, if you're new to this channel, appreciate if you hit the subscribe button, and let's jump into this. GoFest is tomorrow, which is Saturday, and Sunday. The Saturday is the catch day, the Sunday is the raid day. There are 4 areas in each day. We're going to go over the areas, and each of those areas has specific Pokemon. So each of these are 1 hour each, and you'll get them up to 2 times. So 10, 11, 12, 1 for the first time around, and then 2, 3, 4, 5 for the second time around, and it'll just loop again. So we're going to go over the Pokemon for day 1 that you need to focus on in each of these areas and why and what league they will be important in. So in my opinion, the jungle habitat, we're starting off with a Whimper. So Scyther, Apom, Froakie, the unknowns I'm not even going to talk about, Ludicolo, Chatot, which is just a regional, Leafeon, and Superior. So the only one that I'm really going to be focusing on is Scyther. And it's because Scizor has some play in the Ultra League. It's more of a spice pick, but it does have some play. Apom, no. Froakie will eventually, in my opinion, get a community day, so I'm not worried about that. Ludicolo is a spice pick. It was a spice pick, and then the bubble got nerfed, and it was even less available after that, less usable after that. So you can go for a good PvP one and use it in the Great League, but it is not as strong anymore in the Great League. Leafeon, so this is important for all of them. Leafeon, Umbreon, Flareon are all available over the hours. Catch them solely for the XLs because you need 260 some odd for the Umbreon level 50, and that's important. There is actually an Umbreon available to catch. Don't care about the Umbreon itself because you need Last Resort on it. So I shouldn't say don't care, because if you have an Elite TM that you want to use it to get the Last Resort on, you can. Otherwise, you are hunting these for their XL candies. So if you need XL candies, go hard for that. And if you want like level 50s, like Sylveons and stuff like that too, these are great ways to get XL candies because it's a guaranteed 1 XL for an evolution. Superior just had a community day. You need a community day move on it. It just had it, so you don't need to prioritize it. So again, this one is pretty weak. So I'm going to go look for some Scythers. Maybe I'll try and get a good IV Ludicolo if I want to build one up. And then otherwise, I'm just getting XL candies for Leafeons. Maybe, honestly, I may do some Mewtwo raids during this time. So the second one, in my opinion, is the second best one. And you have Skarmory, Shieldon, Hippo, Flareon, Tyranitar, Flygon, Throw. So Skarmory, I've already highlighted in multiple videos how OG it is, how boss it is, and how great it is in the Great League. So you need to go hard after Skarmory. Second, Skarmory can be maxed out to level 50 in the Ultra League. And it's like a top 25 Pokemon when XL'd. So I don't really, there's others in here that I'm going to go over that are useful. Skarmory is my number 1 for this. I'm going to go after every Skarmory I see, make sure I catch it. Shieldon is one that you can go for good IVs for the Great League that you can excel. If you have like a 0 attack and lower attacks, you're able to excel in the Great League, which is very, very positive for the Bastiodon. So I would go decently hard after Shieldon as well. I don't think it has a lot of play. I've seen someone use it as a level 50 in Ultra League, but I don't know if it's as usable overall. The Hippopotas, I forget the evolution form. It has some play in the Master League under certain conditions. So like the Master League, if anyone just played the Master League Classic, is obviously the same 20, and we'll go over the raid one, what you want to do. But if it's like a self tournament where certain things are banned, the evolution has some play. So just keep that in mind if you want specific tournament style one. Flareons XL, like I just mentioned. Tyranitar, obviously awesome to get them. To get a full evolution, you get the XL candies. You get a lot of candies to go with it. Tyranitar does have some sneaky play in the Master League, but it's pretty few and far between. Obviously great for raids as well. People use it all the time. Flygon, you need the legacy move, which you're allowed to evolve anyways to get a Flygon with the legacy move during GoFest. So I don't know why you want to catch one. So just keep that in mind and throw if you don't have it. We have it in North America, so I'm not going to go after that. The third one is, in my opinion, the second worst one, but it depends what you want. So Dratini, Dratini is obviously great. Like Dragonair in the Great League is strong. Dragonite in the Ultra League is strong. Dragonite in the Master League is strong. So obviously you can go after that. You don't really need a legacy move. You can use Hurricane as the second move. The reason that I'm not really prioritizing it is because Dratini and Dragonite have had 15 different events over the past 3 years, right? So most people at this point have that. If you don't, go hard for it, 100%. But if you do have it, I think you can look other places here. And we just had the community day for Altair. So it's one of those things. The first two there, if you've done all the events in the past, you already have them. So they're just sort of whatevers. If you don't have them, both those two, go hard for them. Alomola, I think it had some play in that one specific cup. So if you want, I forget what the cup was called, but if you want it for a specific cup, for sure, go for it. I'm not going to focus too much on it. Gyarados is, again, one of these, and why they haven't said that they won't get the legacy moves, but it's assumed that they won't get the legacy moves. I'm going to see what happens in Australia. If all these, I'm assuming they do not get their legacy moves. Gyarados needs the Aqua Tail legacy move, community day move. I call it legacy. It's community day move to be viable in. I like it in the Ultra League. I like it in the Master League. But you need the Aqua Tail. So if you're willing to spend the Elite TM to get Aqua Tail, if you find a good one, great. This is great for people who don't have all the Magikarp candies to evolve one. Vaporeon XL, Azu. Go hard. Honestly, go hard for Azu. Azu is still a beast in the Great League. As much as people hate it, it's a beast in the Great League. And you can get a really good one with XL candies and Azu is guaranteed XL candy catch. So get the XLs, get a good IV one for Great League, and go for it. And Sock, I'm going to go for just a couple just because it's not a regional that I get. And the last one, which is the best one in my opinion. The Roggenrola, Galarian Stunfisk, Dino, Umbreon, Gardevoir, Absol, Galvantula. And this is one of them where you are going to have difficulty figuring out what you want to spend your time on. For me personally, Galarian Stunfisk is going to be the main one because from a PvP perspective, because having that level 50 in I don't know if it gets level 50, but level 50 in the Ultra League is very, very important. So I'm going to go hard for that. Dino. The Zweilous is a sneaky play in the Great League. Some people are using it right now for the Remix Cup, so you can get a good IV one for the Great League there. The Master League, maybe in the Open. I haven't seen it used in the Master League much. And now I'm wondering if in the future it's going to receive the Gible treatment and get a community move, because this is the same thing what happened with Gible last year. Gible came out for GoFest. I got a great one. I got 100%, powered it up, level 40, used it. A year later, community day. And I think it'll probably be the same sort of thing here. So I will go hard for it just because how rare and strong it is. So that will probably be my second, but maybe third, because Galvantula is great in the Great League, and it has played in the Ultra League as an XL. So you need those XL candies. So you need to go hard after Galvantula. So those three are my main. But even uh, the Rock and Rolla, its evolved form has some play in the Ultra League, not much. Like I'm gonna get candies for it, but I'm not too worried from a PvP perspective on it. And Gardevoir as a pure charmer has play in a lot of Master League cups that I've been involved in Sylph and others. So having like a extremely strong Gardevoir as your main charmer in the Master League is important to do. So I'm going to go after that as well. So my time here is going to be very, very divided between everything here. This is the one I'm going to go the hardest for, and I think you should too. So that is what you need to look at from the catching perspective. Now let's talk about the raid perspective. And this is where it's going to get interesting. So immediately I was going to say Mewtwo, but now Mewtwo has a 2-week time period where it's going to be in raids afterwards. So during those like sort of bad hours for the Saturday, I may do some Mewtwo raids and do raids for like Australia and those who are like ahead doing raids already. So Mewtwo, I think if you don't have Mewtwo, you need to get a Mewtwo, but I think you can hold off for the 2 weeks that it's going to be out afterwards because there's so many other Pokemon that you need to focus on. Here, so here's the thing. Let me just talk about Latios and Latias. They are very good, again, in certain Master League tournaments when your top 10 meta is banned. Those two as the dragon type Pokemon are very, very strong. So if you want it from that preview perspective, definitely go after them. But if you want it for your main Master League perspective, there's only two you need to go on after here. Ho-Oh and Giratina Altered. Ho-Oh does need that Earthquake legacy move, so you need to use League TM on that. But it is extremely strong. Or is it the Incinerate that needs... No, I think it's the Earthquake that needs it. It's extremely strong. It's the Earthquake and Brave Bird hits have wide coverage and hit very hard. And it's a great Pokemon. I've used it before. Definitely worth going after. And Giratina Altered. I'm going to go after this pretty hard because I have the candies, but I don't have a good IV one. And for those of you who've never used Giratina Altered and think, why would you use it? You would be surprised how spammy it is. If you go to my video, I think I put it out where I bring in my Dialga, which does Dragon Breath to this, and I almost lost because it's so tanky and it charges so fast and has the Dragon Claw and Shadow Sneak that you can just spam, and before you know it, my Dialga was in the red. So Giratina Altered is a very, very smart pick in the Master League as like a safe swap in Master League Classic that I play in. So definitely those two are the ones I'm going to focus on. Like I said, Latias have play, Mewtwo, and Cress you can use. Again, Cress you can use in both the Great League and Ultra League, but you need the Leaf Blade move on it, right? So it's really tough with all these because there's so many that you can catch. My analysis would be way different if all these had their legacy / community day moves, but it's not certain that they will. So I have to talk about like they won't. And Crest needs that move, so you can go after it. Virizion again has some play, but not a ton. And the Tornadus, no. Reggie, no. Raid number 2. A lot on here that I like. A lot. So I personally won't be going after Moltres because it's been out so many times. I have a great one already. I've got the legacy move on it, legacy move. Moltres is a really good attacking Pokemon for Flyer for PvE. PvP, it does have some play in like certain cups as well. But for your main Pokemon here, Groudon, you need the Fire Punch, but Groudon is a beast and people used it a lot as a safe swap with Dragon Tail. So it's very strong in that perspective. And then Yveltals were everywhere and have become honestly like one of the best safe swaps in Master League this year because they just spam. It spams pretty fast. It has the Focus Blast for coverage. It has the Dark Pulse that hits hard, covers your a lot, like Mewtwo Giratina with the Dark, covers your Steels with the Focus Blast. It charges quick. It has decent bulk. I didn't realize how strong it was because people are like, oh, it doesn't have its main move. And man, it is really strong in the Master League. So I am going to go hard for Yveltal. Therian Landorus does have some play as well. I've seen people use it because it has like Superpower and Stone Edge. Personally, I just think it has too many weaknesses and it's a little glassy for my liking. So I'm not going to go after it as much. Reshiram was, again, one of those ones that everyone was excited for when it came out. And I have not seen much of it because it's a fire type, and the fire types generally don't do too well in almost all of the leagues, quite honestly. So you could go after them, but it's not important. And Heatran is... Heatran's been out so many times. I have seen it in the Master League because it is the fire and steel typing, and having that typing is very strong overall. It's just a very, very slow charger. So just keep that in mind, which is why I don't use it too much in the Master League. So if you don't have any of these Pokemon and you're strictly focused on Master League Classic, which is what I play, I think Groudon and Yveltal are your top two that you need to focus on. And then second tier, I put Heatran, Moltres, Reshiram, Landorus. And again, it just depends how many raid passes you have. Like if I only have, right now I have 20 raid passes stacked. I only have like 1,500 coins and I'm not spending money on this. So my focus will be narrowed in on Yveltal here because I already have a Hundo Groudon. So number 3, there are a lot. So let's just, okay. So there are 3 Pokemon that are musts if you do not have them. Lugia, Kyogre, Palkia. Lugia, man, I didn't realize how thick Lugia was until I've had to throw 3 rock slides from a Excadrill on it. It's extremely bulky, and the Aeroblast, again, you need the Aeroblast Legacy move, but Aeroblast, even against the Steels, like chunks a lot. And it's just so bulky, and it's a great safe swap as well. Lugias were everywhere. People who did well had Lugias because they got the Dragon Tail buff. So definitely going after Lugia. Kyogre, super thick. Even in bad matchups like against resisted Dialga, it can still do chip damage. Plus, it deals with your, to a certain extent, Melmetal and the extra drills that were everywhere as well, plus Ho-Ho's and a few others. So it's a strong Pokemon to use. Palkia, I want one. I've seen it used so many times in tournament. The Aqua Tail is such a quick charge move to get to with Dragon Breaths, and it's a great Pokemon. I want it. I'm going hard after it. And then Articuno has some play in obviously the Ultra League if you want it. Regice is one of those also sort of spice picks in the Master League that has some play. But again, if you're unlimited in your raid passes and you're just gonna throw a ton of money at this day, tier 1 for me was Lugia, Palkia, Kyogre. Tier 2, Articuno, Regice, Kyurem. I put that as like a tier 3. And finally, your last hour, you have, so Dialga, everyone's going to go after Dialga. I expect it to, so this is what I want to also talk about. It is very likely that Dialga and Palkia will have their shinies released in October or November when the other game comes out. Diamond, I think it is. And it's one of like the tasks that everyone is expecting Dialga and Palkia to come out. So if you want to roll that dice that they're going to come out later with the shiny, you can just not raid them. For other people who are like, I need one for PvP immediately, Dialga, everyone's going to go for Dialga. It is still extremely strong. Excadrill obviously destroys it now because I've ran into so many. That's why Excadrill is so everywhere, because it is a amazing response to Dialga. But still, otherwise Dialga is super, super strong. And then out of all these, I'd probably go for Zekrom. Again, it's one of those, it has Dark, Crunch, and Wild Charge as its charge moves. So it's kind of a unique Master League moveset. But again, it's a dragon type, so you got the, I'm pretty sure it's dragon breasts, and charges decently fast. It's a little, I don't want to say glassy because it's not glassy, but it doesn't have the bulk that some of the other bigger master Pokemon have. And then again, Raikou, Zapdos have some play, but not too much. Registeals, they were just everywhere. You're seeing them now in the Remix Cup. So if you need one for the Remix Cup, sure. Ray, again, great for raiding, not for PvP, and the Nordic Xerneas, no. So that is GoFest. There is a lot to prioritize here. So I went over, it's easy with the Pokeballs because you can have thousands of Pokeballs. It may be tougher if you only have, we're going to get what, like the 20 raid passes or so. So if you may be asking now, okay, I only have 20, I can't answer this question, but if you're like, I only have 20 raid passes, what should I get? So it depends. If I only had 20 raid passes, Mewtwo I'd hold off on. Obviously, it's dependent on what you have. Let's just say you have none of these, but you do have rare candies that you can put into these. I would spend a couple trying to get a good Ho-Ho. I would spend a couple trying to get a good Giratina. I would spend a couple trying to get a good Yveltal and a Groudon. I would spend a couple Lugia, Palkia, Kyogre. And then Dialga is the only thing I'd focus on here. So that's my short list of Pokemon you need. If you want a top 3, like the top 3 in Master League have always been Dialga. Groudon has been a top pick for a while. Giratina is not a top pick. And Yveltal is now, and Lugia are now top picks. So Lugia, Yveltal, Dialga, and those are my top 3. Let's say those are my top 3. So those are the 3 that I focus on. If you don't have any Pokemon, build around sort of those Pokemon in the thing. So that's it. That is the GoFest. I will be going hard. I basically off dad duties that weekend, so I'm just going to go hard and hope for the best. Hope to be able to showcase a few more of these next time around. So that's it. Good luck, and I will see you guys on my next video Monday morning.